afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the show that's on in the afternoon. This is the world famous Stoida. I mean, I love it. And I love our co-host today. We have the beautiful, talented, and incredible Michelle Vijgen from Panache, baby.
I've changed my last name.
Oh, yeah.
Vijgen.
Vijgen, beautiful. It's very French. I love it.
Michelle Vijgen.
Oh, I love it. That sounds very
I don't know
luxury.
how my husband's going to feel about that. It's his
Hey,
name
we
to start
got
with.
special guests in studio.
I'm so excited for today.
We have Sherrie and Jeff from Limelight Theatre. They're going to be talking about 33 fabulous seasons of Limelight, which I'm excited to
so
jump
it's
into.
older than me.
Me too. I know. I love it. Fountain of youth, baby. So good. And we're going to jump in. And we're also going to talk about Bright Star, which is coming up. This is a really exciting show. I really want to highlight this. What'd you say?
I can't wait to hear about it.
I know.
We had
So
a little
good.
pre-game chat, and I'm like, stop talking. I want to hear about this
I
on
know.
the show. I want to that visceral, the real reaction. So
Yeah.
you're going to get it because I know nothing.
And there's something special about this show that the two of them are tied together.
can't
Just
wait.
very excited. Yes,
Can't
exactly. That made no sense, but we're gonna go with that.
You'll get it.
Yeah, but we
Stay
gotta say
tuned.
thanks to some people that make this show happen, which is Bozard Ford Lincoln. They've kicked off their 76-year serving St. Augustine and Northeast Florida. For 3 generations, their team and dealership have grown to meet the needs of this great community. The Bozard campus at I-95 State Road 16 have an incredible inventory of Ford and Lincoln, along with a great selection of pre-owned vehicles of all makes and models in the area. The state-of-the-art service departments, they have quick lane for express service and parts and accessory shops that can take care of all your needs during the time you own your vehicle. And of course, Michelle, no visit to Bozard Ford is complete without stopping at Ford's Garage. When's the last time you were there, Boo?
20. No, I'm teasing. You and I, we're going next week, remember?
That's right.
We're gonna
It's
share
on
that
our
burger.
friendship calendar. Yay! We're going to get a Jiffy Burger. From delivery of your new car in your own driveway to mobile service of your fleet of company vehicles or anything in between, the team at Bozard Ford Lincoln is ready to meet your needs in a way that is designed exclusively for you. Come let their family take care of your family. They're Bozard Ford Lincoln, and they're driven to inspire. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, what?
Life can change in an instant.
We all know
And
that to be true.
that's why the Bailey Group is a wonderful resource for us in town. So make sure your health coverage keeps up if you have a major life change. Seriously, you may qualify for a new health plan or be able to switch plans for as low as $0 a month. That's why we love the Bailey Group. They're a cherished institution in St. Augustine for a remarkable 67 years. In the role of president of the Bailey Group, Mr. Mark has taken the baton of a trusted local insurance agency and powered it to a nationally recognized force. The Bailey Group isn't just about insurance. They have benefits and they do financial strategies, and it's the embodiment of innovation serving companies and employees nationwide. The Bailey Group's title of the largest pure employee benefits and consulting firm in Northeast Florida is so well deserved. And they're not stopping there. They are reminding us to save the date for the ALS walk, which is October 26th. Make sure you sign up on Team 904 now. It's going to be a beautiful walk, as we always do. It's less than a mile downtown St. Augustine. But if you want to call them for all of your insurance needs, give them a call at 904-461-1800.
They have a great team.
They're amazing
They're
people.
great people. Great
Yes.
team.
We had Becky on just a couple weeks ago.
Love Becky. She's my cohort in Dugout Crying.
She's amazing.
My co-dugout mom.
I call her Perfect Panda. She's just perfect for me. I love her.
Yes. That too. Okay.
Hey, Boo, are you looking for bliss and a fresh, glowing face?
Every day.
Why don't we go to a Lace Med
Let's
Spa?
go.
Your
Okay.
ultimate grace. They were once Amara, now they're a Lace. They're simply the best for relaxation and beauty. Let's plan a date. From facials that make your skin gleam to Botox and fillers, it's all like they're a part of the dream scene. With lasers so smooth, they zap trouble spots away. Their expert team makes sure you have the very best day. A Lace is the place to refresh and renew your face with top-notch tech treatments just for you. Step into their doors, feel the stress disappear in a spa so inviting. You'll be filled with cheer. Go to alace.com and you better check out those socials to win those Luke Bryan tickets in Tampa. That is going to be the show.
So follow them and check out that giveaway.
Hey, and give a shout out to Allison. What did she win at Panache? Didn't she do something?
Oh my gosh. So back to Bailey Group.
Okay.
We were a drop-off spot for school supplies.
Yes, Tools for Schools.
Tools for schools. So if you're not familiar, the Bailey Group has a resource depot that's basically like a little Amazon wish list fulfillment center.
Correct.
For teachers in St. Johns County. So what started out as something kind of small and maybe in a closet has blossomed into a really big enterprise where teachers can say, I need 5 yellow folders for kids who couldn't get them. Or
It's awesome. Yeah.
It's amazing. So we were a resource center drop-off. We had this big trash can that becomes a glorified bucket filled with school supplies. And Panache said, bring us school supplies and we'll enter you to win a drawing. So we did a drawing for a $100 gift card to Panache or for a $250.
Uh-huh.
And Allison won the $250 gift card.
So special.
Yeah, so that's
Congratulations.
super exciting. They are good to us, so it's really a joy to be able to
She's
do
a
something in
sweetheart.
return.
She messaged because I never win anything.
Oh, she was in tears. We filled that bucket up twice, by the way.
That's
2
amazing.
times. So that was pretty exciting.
That is really, really cool. Well, Boo, we have some very exciting guests
I'm really
today.
excited to be here.
Yeah, Sherrie, Jeff, thanks for being here, guys.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Great
we
being
love
here.
it.
Always.
I love being on
I
the
got to tell
platform.
you, Sherrie, before we start on this interview, people love Limelight. And honestly, what you have done is taken this theater to another atmosphere. And I've got to give you a huge shout out. I mean it, girl. You have
Thank
done it.
you.
Yes.
Davey,
Thank
let's
you.
backtrack for a minute. What is your role at the Limelight?
I am the executive director.
Okay,
I've been
so
there
what
3
does
years.
that look like? What does that mean?
Well, I am in charge of choosing the season and helping to produce 8 shows a year. I manage a wonderful staff. We have 6 people on our staff. We have an education department that also produces its own shows. We have classes and camps.
You
And
do a summer camp in the summer too,
Yes,
right?
we do.
Okay.
And Missy Schmutzer is our director of education. She's fantastic. We just are trying to raise the bar too with education. We truly believe that we're raising the next generation of theater makers and teaching an appreciation for storytelling. And it also really gives kids confidence and gives them
Absolutely.
a place
let's
of
talk
community.
about that for a second.
Yeah.
I think for summer camps, putting a child in any sort of team-based activity, which theater is team-based.
Yes, it is.
You've got a whole crew behind you. You've got a cast and crew with you. You got to show up.
That's right.
You got to fulfill the commitment.
That's right.
You got to work.
But you also
So
get
it's
to learn
character building.
about
It's character building.
other people, how other people live their
Yeah.
lives, especially in these plays and these shows that you guys direct
Yes.
and star in and things. It's just, you get to understanding like a well-rounded
Developing
aspect.
empathy.
Yeah,
That is so
absolutely.
true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Using theater
Love
to
it.
cultivate characteristics of empathy,
Yep.
team building,
That's right.
confidence.
That's right. That's
Huge.
right. And
Huge.
it is a huge, it's really important to us because we feel that it does teach character and integrity and empathy. That's such a good point. And teaching people that every life and every story and everyone's story matters.
It's valid. Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It is.
So 33 seasons.
We're entering into our 33rd season. We are opening the season with a wonderful musical. I mean, it's a big deal to have 33 seasons
Yeah.
consecutively.
As a nonprofit too, we need to
yes,
point that out too.
it is
Yeah,
a
so
big
you are
deal.
like shoestring budget. You're
That's
like,
right.
yes.
That's right.
Crisco and duct tape are your best friends, right?
Yeah. That's so funny. Pretty much. But Gene Rayner started this theater, 33 years ago with
Legendary.
Ann Kraft.
Yeah.
And then Beth Lambert took over and ran it for 20 years. And then I joined the team 3 years ago.
That's fantastic.
It's an honor. And I feel very passionately about theater and just what it means to our community and a place of belonging. And it really just reaches into people's lives that otherwise don't have a place.
Yeah.
And we are very inclusive. Theater is known for being very inclusive of all different types of people.
I love that.
And I love to be able to foster that in St. Augustine because it's a great place to live. So
Yeah.
I feel very fortunate to be able to work in my field in this beautiful place.
That is awesome. And can you talk about a little bit about a big donation that you guys just received, right?
Yes,
It's going to help
we
the
do.
theater a lot.
Yes, and a little lady by the name of Inez McDonald, who is about to celebrate her 100th birthday on December 1st, was very generous and gave us a very generous donation this past year, and we used it to cover a lot of needs that we had for our building, for some renovations that we wanted to just kind of keep us relevant and current. And we have a ribbon cutting ceremony coming up on September 17th.
Fabulous.
And would welcome anyone from the community that wants to come. We're going to be renaming the theaters, and we have 2 theaters. We have what's been known as the Matuza Main Stage. Ray and Linda Matuza, longtime Limelighters, very they're they're a great family, and they've been very involved in the Limelight for many, many years. Linda served on our board for many years, and then we have a black box, which has been known as the Coger Gamache black box. But Linda said, this is such a huge donation. I would like to give up the name of the Methuselah main stage and give it to Inez McDonald.
The Methusehs are an incredible family, and for them to do that, that's just amazing.
Just humble, giving.
Absolutely.
They wanted it for the Limelight. It's not about them. It's about the art, and the community.
Fabulous.
So that's what they insisted upon, and so we are doing a name change, and we're making the black box the Methuselah black box and theater, and then it'll be the Inez McDonald main stage theater.
How special. Congratulations.
Turning 100.
No.
Right?
No desire. Yeah.
So the joke in our house, because the 7-year-old is like, I was born back in the 1900s.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And we talk about that a lot.
Yes.
And he's asked me before, was there color?
There was Oregon Trail. Yeah.
1900s.
You guys remember playing Oregon Trail?
Yes, dear, there was color, but there wasn't internet. Can you imagine Miss McDonald and the life changes over 100 years?
I've really gotten to know her,
mind.
and it's gotten. She has been such an inspiration to me. There's on our social media we have shared on our website we've shared an article that was recently published on the Ponte Vedra Recorder about her story, and you can really Google her probably and see that she's given to so many nonprofits in the area, but her story is really phenomenal.
I'll be Googling that this
yes,
evening.
she's great.
To hear this. If you think so, what are we? We're in 2024, so she was born at the end of 1924.
Mm-hmm.
So she's lived through a world literally of change.
Yeah,
that's
incredible.
It's incredible.
That's incredible.
Still drives. Still works out.
Well, I am 45 and I do not work out anymore. I should probably work on that.
She told me that
I did yoga yesterday.
God bless. That's amazing.
The secret to her longevity.
All right, I got to hear this. All right, hold on. Let me get my Sharpie.
Really, truly take
this
that.
This is not an expo. This is a Sharpie.
She started pumping iron.
Oh.
At age 80.
That's amazing.
80.
That's awesome.
So I can wait till I'm 80.
You can. There's hope for us. There is hope.
You ever wonder why we end the word longevity, Jeff? We pronounce the G twice. Why?
Longevity.
Right?
Because it's long.
Yeah, apparently. But I feel like we need a double G there, right?
Okay.
It's a hard G and a soft G.
All combined.
So let's
Longevity.
dive into the opener, which is Bright Star, right? This is an incredible show. Tell us a little bit about it and tell us how you guys are connected with this.
This is what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
All right, bring it.
You want to go?
I'll start. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Bright Star was a show that I found when I was still teaching at St. Augustine High School.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Sure.
Okay, this is Jeff. And how are you connected to Limelight?
I am Jeff. Hi, Jeff. It is. I'm connected to Limelight. I've been in this town since 1986.
Okay.
I came as a fresh 21-year-old high school teacher to St. Augustine High School.
Oh, how fun.
Never left St. Augustine High School, did all 35 years of teaching there.
And you taught
I taught music. I taught chorus and musical theater,
Oh, wow.
winter
Okay.
guard.
Okay.
I've done a lot of everything.
Okay.
So it's like mini hats,
Got
you know. So I'm used to multitasking.
Which I
used
think
to,
most people in theater are used to multitasking.
are used to doing that,
You are
yes.
the lead and you are also the stagehand.
Right, you do everything. So always been involved. Beth Lambert's, both of her children went through my program. Like I've always been connected, but never been able to really be involved at Limelight because I'm running my own program. So you have over 200 kids a year and you're trying to like keep that moving and shaking. So always been there. I've been a part of some of their performances, gala, that sort of thing back in the day. But once I retired in 2021, then it was like newbie came on the scene, and she was like, "Who's this Jeff Dodd?" And so anyway, so I had the time, and so here we are. And so I've been able to music direct and kind of use some of my skills that I still have. A few to put that to use. So that's kind of how I'm connected.
I apologize,
no
but
worries.
I wanted to
it's good.
put it all together. Okay.
There should be a connection there somehow, right?
But Bright Star.
So Bright Star was the last show that I was able to do as a director at St. Augustine High in March of 2020. As soon as we closed the show, the world closed. So we felt very fortunate. And the kids that were in that cast, which was about 60 people were a part of that production, we still kind of stay connected because it was like it was like everybody remembers where they were kind of thing. It was like that was their final like good feeling of, and then it was like, oh, wow. So then I just felt like it was a very special show. It was special at the time. We knew it when we were doing it.
But this was really special.
But it just really nailed it into this really special thing. So when Sherrie said, I'm thinking about this list of things, I was like, that one. I want to do that one. I want to be a part of that one. Because it just really.
Backtrack for a second. It's impressive you had 60 students involved in a production at high school. That's a lot of kids.
It's a lot.
St. Augustine High, absolutely.
It's a lot of kids.
Definitely.
It was awesome.
I
would have traded it for the world.
So you did it in high school, and now
did it for the high school students as a production, and then we gone into this, and so there are actually a few kids from my program that are in the production, like that are adults now, that are like still in the area and that are doing this. So it's a great connection, and I love the cast is fantastically talented. Like it's a beautifully written story anyway. Musically, the score is amazing. Bluegrass, I don't know if we want to talk about all that, but the history of bluegrass is a little bit of like from Ireland, Scotland, England, 1600s. They started fiddling around with like these different sounds. So the roots of bluegrass kind of started then, but then around 1930s, 40s, really came into like Kentucky, Tennessee, Carolinas. Like it really started becoming a sound that people were going toward, but they used those basic fundamentals that came from Ireland, Scotland, England to kind of build on top of that. Yeah. Cool. And it took some of the gospel, some of the blues, and just kind of it morphed all of these things into bluegrass. So and I'm not an expert on bluegrass, so I know there's people in this town, but this town, it's very rooted in, Gamble Rogers and some of those kinds of sounds and instruments, and from mandolins to banjos to, really different thing. And we have a live band, which is on stage during the show. And they're cool. In like a little cabin type looking thing, not to give it away, but they kind of move around the stage while they're playing during the show. People are moving them to create the story throughout. It's just beautiful. So I'm fairly honored to be a part of this.
Something that was mentioned before we went on air was how proud you are of the musicality of this, and that you actually have great musicians and great vocalists.
Wonderful. And part of what we were talking about before, what theater builds, I was always under the impression like we might not be great all the time, but you can be a good human no matter what skill set you possess. So through performance, I always found that like we're building that team, we're building how to respect each other. Everyone doesn't have the same talents and skills, but we all work together to make good humans out in the world, right? Because we're sending them out. So it's great. They're not all at the same level, but they're all like, it's such a great sound, and they work so well together, and they laugh and get along with each other. It's like a little family,
I love that.
That's amazing when that happens so early.
And have a safe space that you feel like this is where I can be my true self.
So Sherrie, can you tell us a little bit about the plot of Bright Star? Like what happens in the show?
So it is set between the 20s and the 40s, and in the beginning of the story, it actually starts in the 40s and then it flashes back. There's a young girl that is in love, and it is really, in essence, a story of love, loss, and redemption. So that's how I like to package it. But she falls in love and gets herself into a situation. She is pregnant outside of marriage.
In the 40s.
In the 20s.
In the 20s.
Yes. And she just happens to, her love interest, is the mayor's son. So it is not a relationship of convenience.
Oh my goodness.
And so it begins, there's a plotting to break this apart. And so she ends up being forced to give the baby up for adoption. And it's just a real, there's so many ebbs and flows of sadness and a great loss that takes place, even greater than giving up the baby for adoption. But in the end of the story, you see how all the things that they go through end up coming together for a much greater purpose and a greater story in the end. And so it's just such a beautiful story. It gives a lot of hope. Many of us need that in our own lives, and my personal connection to the story is what drew me.
Tell us.
Well, I know.
Okay. Do I need a tissue?
No, you don't. But I've shared this openly in other forums. But I am adopted, and so the story that's so connecting for me, because my mother was from North Carolina. The story takes place in North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
And very similarly, went to a home for unwed mothers and was forced to give me up for adoption when she tried to keep me. And then the story plays out. I mean, like, I ended up finding my mother when I was 50 years old, and it was 3 months before she passed away.
Oh my goodness.
But it was such an incredible experience, and just my personal connection about how things coming full circle do really make us whole in our lives. And there's this beautiful quote from the script, and it says, "Truth walks beside us like a shadow, and then it merges with us. And until then, we are not truly whole."
I said, do I need it?
Wow. That's so powerful.
It is very powerful.
Okay.
It is.
And so that is really, and I think as a theater producer, and I happen to be able to direct this show, so it's very special to me, but that's what I'm looking for, picking these stories that can inspire and help make people whole.
I'm hearing hope, I'm hearing redemption, I'm hearing love, or the subcontext of a lot of the things that are bringing this together. How is it for you, like, to be able to do this for the second? Is this the second time you've directed this?
Yes.
What is going to be different about the second time versus the first time?
Honestly, the second time is I'm the music director. The first time I was the costumer, the set designer, the blocking guy, the acting guy, the music guy. It was like, okay.
A lot of hats, a lot of hats.
It's a lot of hats. So this time, like, we got to fix that note. Let's fix that note. And we're fortunate we have Kayla Chapani, who's at Soundscene High. She choreographed for us. Amazing lady. And she's busy lady. But she's kind of thrown her, like, twist on the story as well. And it just, I mean, for me, it's different because now that I've lived it once, the story, I'm finding even more nuances in the story, because it's, theater's about, like, when people sit in the audience, and sometimes people leave at intermission and people get offended, but it's really because there was an emotional button that got pushed that is real for them. And so sometimes it's like, I'm uncomfortable, and sometimes it's getting to that uncomfortable or getting to the joyful moment in a show, or all of those things. So for me, it's like finding every piece of the script and song, I'm like, that really, it's like all connected through the storyline, and it's an amazing experience. So
what influence? I mean, Steve Martin and Edie Brickell wrote this, right?
Yes.
Can you really pick out, like, how they wrote it together? Like, what are the nuances that you can see? Oh, Steve Martin was definitely a part of it.
And they were both part of the story. Like, they had this, she found this, like, news article from the 1920s about this baby and what had happened to this baby, and that this family just raised it.
Oh, and it is a true story, by the way.
It is that event. That event is true. Then once they took the baby to raise it, then they created these characters, and Edie's like this pro at, like, and she goes, and I see this, and Steve Martin would be like, well, I wonder if her emotion sounds like this. And it's like they would go back and forth and back. Cool. She wrote some of it, he wrote most of the music, but they really conspired together on, like, getting the lyrics and kind of how does that fit the storyline. And I just think they're just brilliant together. Like, and people don't realize, like, he's the wild and crazy guy in our generation, right? But he's this fantastic musician and just super talented. And so the music really, to me, connects through. It's kind of like a Les Mis moment in bluegrass, though, where it's like, yes, there's dialogue, but that music, it's not just like, oh, they broke into song all of a sudden. It's like there's a reason for 100%. That music to intertwine in the storyline. So
wow. So it's really complex, right?
Yeah. Oh,
how do you feel about, because now Jeff is directing and you've directed it before, so you kind of are like Steve Martin and Edie, kind of, right? Kind of how we're tying this together.
I love working with Jeff. I love working with Jeff. He's great. I mean, I'm always looking for opportunities to work with him. Because, just not to blow sunshine, Jeff, you know how I feel about you, but he's just so positive, and he really makes the whole experience joyful.
Yeah.
And he finds
so sweet.
He finds all of the good things, I mean, and I think it's a good experience for everyone, because I'm looking around during rehearsals and people are just standing in the wings smiling and watching other people, and it's beautiful to see that, because we are trying to create something special and joyful what we're doing at the
Bright
Limelight.
Star.
Yeah, and then Bright Star. Oh, very nice.
And I'm just
tie-in
giving
there.
it to them, serving the children.
Yes. Yeah.
That's so exciting, though. And so, when is the show start? When and how can people buy tickets? Like, what is the whole getting the gab there?
Well, we open on September 27th. We're trying to make it a very fun and eventful opening night. So there are tickets still available. So if you'd like to come and join the party, it does run for 4 weeks through October 20th. And we do have a couple of special shows. We have a preview night, which is